Specifically, this is going to be the weirdest start to the video ever. It doesn't specifically have anything to do with the banana. It's a bin of prizes for this Khan Academy competition for which, like, period or group of kids. So we have to talk about how we want to split up our class. So it's just an encouragement tool. So it's really like nothing very special. It's like when we did LearnStorm. You guys remember LearnStorm? You did great, but I realized that it didn't really matter, and this competition's better, and I can award prizes week by week. All right, so getting into the lesson that I only have like 26 minutes to teach now, I am going to continually show a picture of this until it all makes sense. So again, this is the unit circle. As we start talking about cosine, sine, and tangent even more today, one thing I will point out is cosine actually corresponds to the x-coordinate, or the base of the triangle, and sine actually corresponds to the vertical height, or the y-coordinate of the point on the circle at the amount of radians of rotation around it. And I know that doesn't all make sense yet, but it will eventually. The radians is also how many degrees we've opened up. So if you want me to avoid talking about radians, which we don't understand yet, I could just talk about we've lifted up 30 degrees, and we end up at this x and this y coordinate. Right? We've rose up by 30 degrees on the unit circle. So let's make sure that we actually know how to do the trig that we're supposed to do. So head your paper, please, with using inverse trig, because that's what we're going to get down to today. It's not what we're starting on, actually. Anyone know why it's not what we're starting on? What do we use inverse trig to solve for? Go ahead. Yeah, the angle. So we'll use inverse trig. I told you to go ahead. Yeah, be mad at her, not me. Nah, not if you can remember what trig function to use. So thank you for asking that. At this point, we're really just like doing the math. Now, I would caution you against not writing it down. So if we look at the angle that we have and the sides that are given to us, what trig function are we going to use? From the angle, what sides do we have? Yeah, sine, right? Because we have opposite side and hypotenuse. We did this yesterday, right? I'm not crazy. You guys are 2 days in a row this week? Okay, making sure, because y'all were a little like, is he talking to me? So sine, so please on your paper write down sine 25. And here's why I would say don't not write it down, because it's the order of the ratio that we have to make sure we get right. You know, if your calculator is set in degrees, we don't actually need to write the degree symbol, because the sine function is looking for an input of how many degrees. Okay, have we also talked about Desmos of the sine function or cosine function? Or, well, not Desmos, but the graph. Okay, Desmos, come on. All I'm trying to do is graph. Well, look, it's just like... Okay, apparently Desmos isn't going to work right now, so opposite goes on top, so our opposite is 2. Hypotenuse goes on bottom. What did we say yesterday we could do with this to solve it a little bit more easily? Yeah, we can swap these, because in proportional, or in a proportion, we can literally just swap it. That goes along with our means extremes. So what we see here is that h will actually be 2 divided by sine of 25. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. Type that in, and what do you get? Desmos is still just loading. Hey, Alina. I give you 100% permission to text me on Sunday and verify that I've completed your application. What? All this time at Phoenix and you've not saved my phone number? I am hurt. It's in your plan book. I mean, oh! Okay. I'm not going to tell it to you right now because I'm recording the video, but at the end of class, I'll just give you all my cell phone if you need it. It's due the 1st, right? They said they want it the 1st, so I can still submit it Monday, but you won't be at school Monday. So, like, that's why I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Alina's applying for CSG. Is anyone going to give me the answer? What? Oh, not CSG. Okay. What? Okay, sorry. I don't know. You guys could go anywhere that you want, probably. Like, literally, you could probably get in anywhere that you want. Because you guys are awesome. Probably. Go for it. Seriously, I bet you could. All right, since it seems like y'all aren't going to calculate this, or y'all just want to talk about other things today, 4.73. No, what you said was, did you get my application done? What function are we going to use here? Tangent. We haven't used that one as much. We've used sine a lot. Did you guys feel better knowing what we learned yesterday? Right? Hey guys, if class just isn't going to work today, just tell me and like, y'all keep going like, here's the path I put you on, and you're like, woo! Like, squirrel! Trig. Okay, I need like 10 minutes. Really, like that's it. I need like 10 minutes today. Can I get 10 minutes? Margaret. Nope, it's not going to happen. Sorry, Hudson. Not today. All right, we can swap these values again. It comes out kind of easy. Well, easy to calculate. 4 divided by tangent of 20, making sure our calculator's in degrees, or else we'll probably get a funky answer. The question mark there. The unknown. I wish they were giving us variables. If we round to the hundredths place and round appropriately, 10.99. Now, when they ask us for the angle, though, it's still the same process. We still ask ourselves, what sides do I have compared to the angle that they're asking me for? Then again, it doesn't quite matter because I could find either angle and just find its complement, right? I mean, that's another option. You could find either of these angles and then just figure out its complement. But if we all look at the same angle of this question mark, the sides I have would tell me to use what function? Sine, because we have opposite and hypotenuse. So we're going to write down sine of the question mark. And actually, we could use theta instead of the question mark, right? Because we said theta is our reference angle. So when we go to write this, I would write sine of theta is equal to the opposite length of 2 over the hypotenuse length of 6. All of algebra, well, at least all of solving for algebra, pretty much comes down to inverse operations to undo something that has been done to a thing that we don't know, right? Variables, right? Solving equations is all inverse operations. So just like that, just like multiplication, sine is an operation, right? It's a function that operates on theta, so it has an inverse. So all we have to do is say, okay, if I apply the inverse of sine to this side, the whole side, like this is literally how it gets written out, the inverse of sine of the theta is just theta. Is just theta. Sorry, it's masks. So, When we then do that to this side, inverse sine of 2 over 6. Could I do 1/3 instead of 2 over 6? Would the size of the triangle change the size of the angle? No, it would be similar. I could do 1/3 instead of 2/6. So in your calculator, you use the second button. Second button. It activates this little arrow that tells you you're using second. We are wanting to use inverse sine, so then we hit the sine button. Make sure it has the little 1, right, the exponent. Sorry, the little -1. And then if you want to be safe and just use your actual side lengths, you can type 2 over 6. We get 19.47 for our theta value there. Any questions on doing that? You're about to be asked to do it on your own. Yeah, with cosine and with tangent. Yep, operates the exact same way. We are trying to do the inverse of a function to isolate. Theta really does count as a variable, right? It's an unknown value, so we can say the variable. You know what, Alina? I'm actually going to set an alarm for tomorrow morning. I'll try to do it this afternoon, actually, but to make sure that I do it. Here's a true confession. I'm not a very good adult. I'm a decent teacher, but, like, I need to make checklists, and I have to, like, keep myself straight. Yeah. Like, I don't know, if you had legs of, like, 3 and 4. Right? So there are some nice triangles, but what do we call those? Special. Because I'm not joking, most of the problems like this that we solve are gonna be messy. The real world is not nice. Normally, there's a minimum or maximum you have to operate under. I don't know if you guys like Reddit or what memes make it onto your threads, but there's a really funny, like, engineering meme where there's like a staircase going up a hillside, and then there's a handicap ramp that's the same steepness as the staircase. And they're like, yeah, I don't think the engineer checked the ADA requirements, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. But normally with ramps and things, which is where we use angles, you're dealing with, I need to go up into a building that is this high off grade. Off grade would be like off the level that you're working with. And the ramp can only have a steepness of like 7 degrees or something like that. And you calculate the trig of if we have this much space between the front of the building, like, can we fit the ramp that we need, or does it have to take a corner, right? Like sometimes you'll see a ramp that like goes sideways, and like, this is where trig comes into play. Like, I'm serious, guys. It is actually like applicable to your life because you don't know what you're going to do. Speaking of situations, like, well, we have a leg of 3 and a hypotenuse of 5. Is this the 3, 4, 5? So what function did you use here? Oh, sine again. Darn sine function. Actually, sine is probably the most common function you'll encounter. Like, we tend to use it the most. What are you asking about? Wait, you guys said this is the 3, 4, but didn't the triangle just, or the angle come out to be like 36? So wait, is this the 3, 4, 5? Wait, 3, 4, 5 is special because 3, 4, 5. But does it have any special angles with it? No. The 3, 4, 5 triangle is special because it's 3, 4, 5 and the sides are integers. Because math ain't that nice. You're not going to get integer side lengths and an integer angle value. Sorry, I now realize you can't see my calculator. But I'm doing our legs of 3 and 5, right, or opposite of 3, hypotenuse of 5, and I get the angle of 36.87 if we round. So that's not super nice. How could we check if this is the 3, 4, 5? Okay, but I want to use trig. I agree with you, but I want to use trig. Because I want to use trig. Do I have to explain myself? Alina, because you're raising your hand. I appreciate that. Oh, but these are really messy decimals. I don't want to work with messy decimals. Guys, I want you to get more comfortable taking liberties in math. If this was true, let's just check. Let's say that it is, right? Because what we're trying to determine is it or isn't it? If we say that it is, and we want to check the same angle, the 4 would just be the adjacent. So we could do cosine of theta again, because I'm going to see if it comes out to be the same. Cosine of theta equals 4 over 5. So check, does the inverse cosine of 4 over 5 come out to give us the same theta? And it does. So the 3, 4, 5 triangle is special and it's quote-unquote nice, but the angles aren't nice. I don't know how long you're in here. Try this one. 2a is 38. I'll have a couple more minutes. What else do I have for you guys? This is pretty much it, because this is as far as I planned your practice work. Now, I did assign you new practice work this morning. That is the next section that'll take us through next week. Unless there's a reason for us to slow down, my plan is for us to take a mastery, like me-made. That's not good grammar. That's not good grammar. Like a mastery made by me at the end of next week. But I have assigned the Khan Academy unit test for your pleasure. If you would like to do it, do it. If you don't, I'll delete it later because you're going to take a mastery from me. At least I don't think I'm going to let the Khan Academy test be the test. I think I'm going to write my own. My issue with Khan Academy is how much multiple choice there is, but I need to check that test. If it's mainly fill in the blank, I might just let that be our mastery for the unit.
Like, the reason why it's because it's aimed by computer.
You mean graded by a computer, but they can grade numbers. They can grade what you type in. Algorithms are pretty good these days. What function do we use here? Oh, yeah, again. Dang. So you'll probably get pretty good at just recognizing which function to use, and that's why we're just going to drill some of these practices. What's your angle? 51.07. Here, what would we use? We're just doing speed round for a few of these. Tangent, right? Opposite over adjacent. Do it.
Again, it's 3, 4, 5. It's 3, 4, 5 again.
So the angle of B is how big? So is B the smaller angle or the bigger angle in this triangle? Bigger, so it's going to be over 45. When we do the trig, it is our 53.13 angle. What would we use here? Tangent again. Do it. Guys, we're also practicing. Can you type it in your calculator and get the right answer? Can you do it in the right order? Like now, notice I'm not saying you got to write it down. We're just practicing this together. Just can we get the same answers? What'd you get? Shout it out. What'd you get? Did you all leave? And I'm just like hallucinating?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
68.
Thank you. 68.19.
No, it's actually 2.
You're right, but
You rounded
if your sentence starts with actually, what would we use here? Tangent again, do it. Hey, if you're not going to be excited, you can always keep it to yourself. I don't know. This morning, one of my 7th graders came in, and I was like, how you doing? He's like, good, how about you? And I'm like, great, it's Friday! And I think I scared him. I'm like, dude, you don't understand how exciting a Friday is. 29.74. Guys, you only come to school 2 or 3 days a week. I come to school every day, and I have to teach the same stuff on a repeat. I'm going crazy. I need my weekends. What would we use here? Tangent, right? Anytime we have both legs, it's tangent. So just make sure that you're putting them in the correct order, that it's opposite over adjacent. So here would be inverse tangent of 8 over 7, 48. And that's it. That's everything I had planned for today. So we got 5 minutes extra. I wonder if there's like Quizlet for trig. Well, Quizlet is not the worst. Your attitude's the worst. Ooh, look, one about the unit circle.
Oh, we love it. We love it, right?
No, we don't.
Come on,
Don't
really?
give a comment. You're gonna make him do it.
No, you're not helping us.
Nah, you guys can just do whatever.